Welcome to Mr. Dodger's neighborhood. And we've got two of our fans in the office with us, Anthony and Loxi, the official law firm of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I shouldn't say that. Actually, because there's nothing official. We want to be official.
Careful, we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, they're going to get sued from the Dodgers or something. So I have our first Mr. Dodgers podcast this year.
Oh, okay.
So I was going to do it at opening day, but the opening day was away, and then there was the strike, and I hadn't gone to any games yet. But now I could comfortably say that I've been to 4 games. This young lady over here has been with me on 2 of them. Recently, we went on Sunday, and was it last night? No, it was the night before. God, I can't. So 2 nights ago, and we had a lot of fun. So the first thing I want to talk about is what the season's looking like. So the Dodgers look pretty good, right, Anthony?
Yeah, number 1 in the National League West.
Okay, and what I noticed this year, because I've got the website for the Dodgers here in front of me, and you can go into standings. It's a pretty tight race in our division, right?
Yes, it is.
And somebody said that our division is kind of a tougher division this year.
It is.
Why is that?
Good players, I think, on all teams. It's just very competitive. We're also in a condensed season, so the timeline is a little bit shorter. Every single game counts a lot more. You don't have throwaway games like you used to. I mean, I guess none of the previous games were throwaway games, but you will have ones that you would prioritize over other ones. But coming into this season, you got multiple doubleheaders. I think there was one of the first doubleheaders that they had at Dodger Stadium in something like 30 years.
Has it been 30 years?
30 years
wow.
since the last doubleheaders. And it's going to be I think there's a couple more on the schedule as well.
Wow.
So just really exciting season of baseball.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a doubleheader in your lifetime?
I've watched a doubleheader like on TV, but to be at the game for both games.
When did you, because you're not that old to be watching. When you were like 5 years old or something, 2 years old?
No, actually, I was 36-year-old, and it was a couple nights ago.
Okay. What I mean before this, though, you've never seen
never,
one, right?
Never, no.
Yeah. Because I can tell you that when I was a kid, doubleheaders were played all the time.
Yeah.
And we got a story about that.
Right.
Because I used to be a Chicago White Sox fan. I still am, but
Sure.
more of a Dodgers fan. But now they played this. I was just wondering if they would be able to withstand that, because Loxi and I went on Tuesday night, and they had already played a full game during the day and stuff, and I think it showed. Right.
Well, it showed on my hot dog because I'm sure it had been left over from the previous game.
Hey, no disparaging the food over there. Well, you know what?
It was fun.
You didn't take me up on it, because we went to they have revised the stadium.
Yeah.
Every year I go over there, and I'd like to see what else have they added here, because it's like over the past 5 years, 10 years. You go there at the beginning of the season, they've had one different thing that they've changed, and they've kept improving it, and now they've got this back section behind the scoreboards that's like party time.
Yeah.
Hey, have you been to a game this year?
I have not. No, I was supposed to go to UCLA night. I'm going to, I think, the Padres game coming up.
Okay.
So
let me tell you, get there early, and I mean really early now.
Right.
Because there's crowds this time early.
Because everybody knows about that back part over there now, and it's really, really crowded, but it's the most fun that I've ever seen. They have live bands out there, seating areas, and
food trucks.
The food quality is better over there.
Right.
You should have gone and gotten the barbecue sandwich,
the pulled
pork.
I know.
Because it was the one thing that I really liked so far since I've gone to the stadium.
Do they still do the all-you-can-eat pavilion out there in the outfield?
I don't know, because they dressed that up. I don't.
And there's like some nice food out there. There's food trucks. They got like places, like little things that you can take pictures of, like the World Series ring and the bobblehead,
batting cage. Yeah.
Really cool.
It's exactly what I always thought that they should add to it to make it more family fun. This time they had, besides the world-class mariachi band that I love,
they were amazing.
They had some dancing going on. Because it was
line dancing.
Yeah, there was like a country band, and then they were out line dancing, and people were like really enjoying themselves, man.
So you went on Mexican Heritage Night, right? Yeah. So they gave away the jerseys and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't think we got anything.
You had
that.
to.
You gotta
get
have
a
the special. Yeah, but
package.
that was really cool, because I think they had 2 jerseys. And they were each different for each game. So the first game had a special Mexican Heritage Night jersey.
That's what shows why all those people were walking around with those jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you knew that.
Well, I thought maybe they bought them.
I thought you got the jersey.
Well, anyway, so the Dodgers are number 1. Now they're not the only Giants though. The really big bad teams in here. I think that we're we're going to make it to the playoffs. I mean, I just have that feeling based on watching them.
Don't look at who's next on the schedule.
But look who. Well, we'll talk about that. But look who they're going against. The New York Nets right now. Mets. Did I say Nets?
Yes, you
Mets.
said-
You know, they're first place. They've been in first place. You know, they're tough. The Yankees are out of this world. 28-10. You know, and then you've got Houston, which has been in there. In our own little city here, we've got the LA Angels.
Right.
And don't sleep on those people, man.
Shohei Ohtani is amazing.
Yeah.
God, I wish he was a Dodger. Him
I
and
know.
Mike Trout.
Well, I think that what I want to do this year is see. I really want to go to the Crosstown Series, you know, and see one of those games because you know you'd be crazy not to go and watch that guy play, right? I'm talking about what's his name?
Shohei
Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean
He's amazing.
Yeah,
We saw him once last year. Remember?
we
He was
did,
really
we did,
good.
but I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah,
he
was
slid
doing
in
like
the second.
calisthenics when he was like waiting for the next.
The closest
when he was
thing I
on
could
base.
equate him to is like our Mookie Betts, where Mookie's basically
Yeah.
good at everything. That's him, except he pitches on top of all of that too, which is
Yeah,
completely
he's
crazy.
really good at it.
And he's really good at it. So
That's really interesting that you said that because Mookie is an incredible athlete,
incredible.
but
yeah.
I mean this guy is history.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
I mean, he's history because there hasn't been somebody like him since Babe Ruth, and
Yeah.
you know, I got to go see him, man. I mean, you know, I sorry fans out there, but I don't like Anaheim Stadium that much. You know, it's not like Dodger Stadium.
Well, the tickets are cheaper. That's the only plus. It's
Oh,
gonna
they
come
are.
for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, so we went to 2 games this week. It started
Yeah.
off at Sunday, and Sunday was really interesting. Did you watch the game?
I did.
So as you know, we were getting
Clobbered.
killed. We were playing Pittsburgh, right?
Right.
Yeah, and we were playing like a silent movie until the 9th inning.
Yeah, and she's like getting like, oh my God, I can't
Right.
stand this. You know, and as a true baseball fan, right? You know,
Right.
so into the 9th inning, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this to the
Right.
end, right? And we're behind by I think it was 2.
2 runs.
Yeah.
2 runs going into that. She gets up off her seat. She goes, I'll see you on the way out. You know, and I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be standing out there. I thought you were going to go in the parking lot first.
No, but I never made it to the restroom because things started happening, and I knew that
I
I
know.
could not continue my journey into the women's room.
I know
had to
that.
watch.
Yeah, I know you had to watch the car crash. And You just didn't want to do it from your seat because you were like, I can't sit here and watch that.
I think it's because I got up that they started playing well.
Okay, well, I do attribute that to you. Yes, but anyways, what happened in the 9th?
So was it Mookie got on,
Yeah.
and then Freddie got on,
Right.
and then was it Gavin Lux who had?
No, you're missing it. So I think that in the 8th, Mookie hit a home run.
Oh,
And
that's right.
It brought us within 1 point.
Right.
Right.
And then what happened is in the 9th,
Cody?
no, Bellinger gets up
That Bellinger. yeah.
and he's
Bellinger.
behind
It
the
was Cody.
count. He's behind. It's 3. He's behind the count.
Uh-huh.
There's just one more strike and we're done.
Right.
Right, and we're like, everybody's like getting up and getting ready to leave, and all of a sudden he line drives it, right?
Oh,
Not
nice.
line drives it. He hits it along the line of the first base. What is that? It's left field. Is that right field?
Right field.
Right field.
Right
field.
Right field over there. You can tell that I'm just becoming I haven't played baseball in a long time.
We've had a couple come from behinds, I think, in the last
This
couple
was
few games.
unbelievable, though.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
stood
crazy.
there. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. And
Yeah.
it was, everybody had started to go home. And then the crowd roars and all this is going on, and everybody just went back down into their
Yeah.
seats. It was like, it was
I've never heard the crowd yell so much after that game.
insane.
So he gets on. He hits a triple, right?
Oh, that's right.
You know, hits a triple, and then what happens is I think Taylor gets walked or something. He gets on base.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then Lux, who's the guy that made the error,
right.
they gave them 4 points and stuff. He goes in there and he blasts a double. And man, I mean, it was just
it just
electric in there.
erupted. It was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, and it was a long, tiring game because we
Right.
were behind, and you know, you just as the innings went on, you're kind of losing faith
Yep.
a little bit and stuff. And that's the beautiful thing about baseball, though.
Yeah.
You know, so
Sweet.
yeah.
It was sweet.
And then what happened on Tuesday night?
Tuesday night was just, it was just a slaughter, and it was just the most amazing thing I'd ever, witnessed in my
Slaughter.
life. It was.
We ended up sweeping the Diamondbacks, I
Yes,
think,
we
for
did.
that
Yeah.
series
Yeah, we
too.
did.
I would say this about Tuesday night, though. So, you know, what I loved is we went with, it was Loxi, Stephanie, and one of your friends went there.
Doreen, yeah.
Doreen.
Buddy.
And, you know, after a while, I mean, they should have a mercy rule almost. But although in baseball, I've seen some come arounds, but I'm like, okay, we won. We were about like the 8th inning, or
Right.
You know,
Was
it's
it like 12-2?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you ladies were really enjoying it. You guys really had every time there was a hit, it was like ah. Yeah, I don't know. Did you just watch the end of that game, Anthony?
We got a position player pitching.
That's right.
At the end
That's
of it,
right.
and that was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know I would have loved to see what the commentary on TV was, because this guy was throwing 60-mile-an-hour pitches.
I know, yeah.
And he could barely get it over the plate and stuff like that.
It was funny because the preceding game, he gave up the same amount of runs as the closer. They both gave up 1 run, so it's like, who do we really need pitch closing out these games right now? You know,
why did they put him in there?
We're saving our arms for this upcoming series, I think.
And why not?
Yeah.
Well,
why not? We're up by 12. You know,
Right.
there's no reason.
I could think of a sinister reason. One of them is to really rub it in the other team, like we're going to bring in some guy.
Yeah. But what if you end up, getting one of your guys hurt? Then it's
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll scratch that out, because the insurance company would be yelling at the Dodgers for putting in. So the other reason I thought was, what was I thinking? So they were confident that they could wrap it up with that guy. I think they thought that the other team was playing so poorly that a ground ball and throw it to first and that type of thing. Statistically, they knew that they were safe. Right.
Yeah.
He was putting him in the zone. Actually, I was really impressed at how well he was pitching. So
He must have pitched at some point in his baseball career.
I think they all do at some point. You never know. There was a recent game with Albert Pujols.
I know, I saw that.
And he pitched.
He pitched.
Yeah, I wish he would have done that. I miss him.
I know.
And his big feet.
That was fun to watch as well. It's always
You saw that pitching?
It was a lot of fun to see him come up and throw a couple of them.
Was it as entertaining as when Kike Hernandez did it a couple of years ago when they were in inning 12 and they ran out of pitchers? You remember that? It was like 11:30 at night, and I'm like, my God, I need to go to bed. But it was time.
I remember that one.
Yeah,
that one there was more on the line, I think.
That's what I said. With the Cardinals, was it similar where they were so far ahead?
Yeah, they were up by almost, I think, 12 or 13 runs. So at that point,
But
like you said, we don't have a mercy rule in baseball, so you can have a little bit of fun towards the end of the game.
I was sitting there thinking, are we going to break a record as to the most runs in a game? I mean, that's how bad it was getting against the other side. I have to say, I felt bad for the Diamondbacks.
I did too.
Because those guys, man, you could just see they didn't want to be out there on that field, man.
No.
No, nobody likes getting swept.
And they're not nasty and they don't cheat.
No. There's certain teams we wouldn't mind doing that
Yeah.
to.
Well, Houston's one of them, right? And
One starts with an A and one starts with a G.
Who's the A?
The Astros.
Astros.
Oh, okay. Houston Astros. Okay. So looking at this, I think that we could all form the conclusion we've got a pretty good team this year.
LA loves October. Too soon?
And the other thing is they could come back, and that's what I liked about on Sunday is that they
Yeah.
proved that they could come back,
It's a
and
no
that's
quit
always
team.
a good sign.
They were in a little slump, and they were playing like it Sunday until the 9th, or I'm sorry, whatever night we went. Sunday. No, it was Sunday until that 9th inning, and then they kind of got it back.
Gavin Lux at the end of that game, I think, really kind of made a big statement that, you know what, we can slip up early in the game, we can fall behind a little bit,
Yeah.
but as long as you're performing towards the end of the game, you're doing your job, then ultimately you're going to find some success. And that attitude, I think, is really prominent with the team this year.
That's a champion.
Yeah.
Plus, they weren't
exactly.
that far behind. I
They
think
weren't
if
that
they
far
would have been
behind.
further behind, it would have been a tougher
Right.
psychological.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're putting, balls into play this year
Yeah.
compared to last year.
Well, let's talk about that. Do you have your stats with you?
I do.
Let's look at the batting.
They're gonna talk stats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we're baseball fans, right?
Uh-huh.
So look at the batting averages of the LA Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and who's got the highest batting average right
Freddie
now?
Freeman's at 312.
Okay, who's next?
I think it's got to probably be Mookie Betts, right?
Which is about 250.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, but when I'm sitting at the ballpark, and then what's the one after that?
I don't have the list, but I would probably say
Austin Barnes is pretty.
Austin Barnes has been playing
Yeah.
really
Like
well.
240 or something like that.
They're all up there.
Yeah, but the stats are down though, right? Because
Right.
typically over the past 10 years, especially the past 5 years, I've noticed that. Like, remember Justin Turner was like 320, at about this time of the year, and then you had who was the guy that was on shortstop? Seager.
Seager.
All those guys had really high batting averages and
Right.
stuff. And I'm wondering if all the teams have the batting averages are down. I'm just wondering about this because. There was this controversy about the ball being
sticky stuff.
juiced,
Yep.
right?
Sticky stuff.
Yeah, And I wonder if they've gone in there to change that, because these are the stats that I grew up with. You know, when it would be a really big deal to even bat 280, you know, 290 and stuff like that. Finish the season with 290 would be great, but I got so used to these guys hitting over 300. I was shocked to see that Mookie Betts is only 250.
Right.
Yet he's like heralded.
That top of the order is really running like a machine right now.
Well, that's the other thing is my first day when I went to the Dodger Stadium and I sat down, they showed that lineup. I thought that's killer's row, man, from top to bottom, and they don't have a pitcher to interfere with that. So you know, they wear you down, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So glad we got Freeman. Oh,
yeah.
God.
We're paying less for Freeman than we would have had to pay to Corey Seager, too, by almost, I think, $5 or $6 million a year.
Oh, God, he's so incredible.
And he's there at least, hopefully, for the long run.
He wants to be there, you can tell.
Yeah, it's great when he gets up and
everybody loves him. Yeah,
people start cheering his name.
He started to almost cry with that first game. It was
new city, you know, new team. That's got.
He's from here. Yeah. So.
Did you notice? I was showing this to Loxi, the way that he runs, that he's on the base. I guess it's because he's so big and lumbering that they don't really think he's going to be stealing bases or anything.
Right.
So I was watching him. He was on first base, and he's like way off of the first base, just standing there comfortably, and the first baseman's away. And then as the pitcher is winding up and stuff, and he pretty much figures out in his head, I guess, that he's going to throw it, he starts kind of like doing this weird walk type of a thing. And he's almost halfway by the time you know, and then
at that point, you got to go for it.
Yeah, well, I guess everybody knows this guy's not going to be like stealing bases or something. So he's just kind of getting a lead so he can run, because he can't run very fast. On third base, now again, maybe people see this all the time, but I was amazed that he was on the grass. He was practically standing where the third base coach was.
Oh, interesting.
And then as the pitcher's winding up, he walks into the area, and again, he's about halfway there, but I've never seen anybody like that before. He's a real smart,
incredibly smart,
baseball player.
His ability to read pitches as well, and know what's coming up. I think there was him talking about to some other players in the bullpen, said, "Hey, all I had to do was just move up half a step," and then he hit it out of the park on that. And I was like, how do you make that read and know that's what you have to do? It's just
like
incredible.
An art.
It is an art, yeah. But he's such a good player. I really hope he's going to be sticking around for the long run.
Yeah. So who's coming up next for us?
Philly.
Wait a minute, didn't we just wait? Who
no,
did we play?
We played the Diamondbacks.
No, we played Pittsburgh. Is that who?
The
killed Pirates.
The
we played the Pirates, so we got Philly
they're
coming up.
Scary.
Yeah.
But the Pirates aren't even. Pittsburgh is like number 3rd in their division. I think that we just had a really bad week there. I think the guys were tired or something, right?
Well, hopefully they're doing better this time around. We play a lot better at home than we do on the road.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're playing Pittsburgh again then. That could be interesting to watch to see if it's going to be a turnaround.
Right.
Redemption.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to mention that my Chicago teams are keeping with tradition. My brother's out there.
Chicago
Cubs. All my 90% of my friends from back home are Chicago Cubs fans, and you know my family were Sox fans, but they're in second to last place. And then the White Sox, which they're not even 500. I mean, you know, they were the big team of the year over there. So
Kenley is coming back to Dodger Stadium tonight.
I miss Kenley.
I know.
What?
Yeah, Kenley's coming back to Dodger Stadium tonight. He had an interview, and he said it's nice to have a closer that they don't boo here. And
last year he played really well.
Yeah,
he did play really well.
I don't know why they got rid of him.
He left on a good note.
I miss him coming out there.
I know. Well, that's the one thing about these guys fortunately they're geared to win because there's a lot of personalities that you sorry to see them go.
You get attached to them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I do.
Kenley was so much fun when he come out of that bullpen.
Yeah.
And then he'd do that thing.
Just a slow warm up. He got called out for that a couple games ago.
And I loved watching that guy close.
Loxi and I learned the guy that pitches,
now
he gets down. He's like the
Spider-Man.
On the scoreboard, they have him like looking like he's a Spider-Man, looking in.
If it works,
Well, we know why he does it. Apparently, this is what we heard.
This
could
is
be
what
a
the
rumor.
guy behind us told us.
Yeah, he said that he had hurt his back, his arm. The shoulder.
Yeah.
He can't put his hand behind his arm like
Oh.
that. So
that's the best you can do.
He's had to learn to bend over and do that like that. And I guess he just adds a little flair to it with the fangs and stuff. You know?
I don't know, but can't he like clench his fist or something? Because it looks like it's just hanging there.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's kind of gross, man. I mean, it's a man sport. You're not supposed to be over there playing Spider-Man for crying out loud.
It bugs Don.
We have to talk about Schweitzer night at the Dodger Stadium.
I got it all planned.
All right,
versus.
Is it the Giants?
It is the Giants.
Yeah.
We're watching them play the Giants.
Yes,
Oh my God.
and I got us.
Giants.
Our seats are in loge, right up from the opposing bullpen. Thank you, Loxi. You've done it again.
We're gonna trash talk that entire bullpen.
Oh yes, we are.
Just behave yourself when you're there, okay? Well, what we want to do is we want to express our gratitude to all of our fans out there, our clients, for really putting up with us for being such hardcore Dodger fans. I mean, who would know that we spend time at work talking about the Dodgers, dressing up like the Dodgers? We're going to take a little walk over to a very special place. We call it the museum in our firm.
Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame
There's
Museum.
not much in there right now.
Okay. And we're talking about Loxi's office. So next time you'll see us, we'll be clicking on it. We'll be walking into Loxi's office to see how hardcore she is.
There you go.
We're going to call this the History Museum of the Dodgers, and Loxi, who's been watching the Dodgers for how long?
Since I can remember.
You've accumulated memorabilia and history. You've got stories to
And-
tell. Who taught you how to swim?
Don Drysdale
See?
taught me how
Look
to
at that. Look at that. So we'll do this little niblets at a time.
This is my 1974 World Champion Dodgers button. This is my Tommy Lasorda signed baseball.
Holy cow. Wow.
This is my Vince Scully bobblehead. And then this is my Oral Hershiser bobblehead because the 1988 World Series was one of the most amazing things I've ever watched in my entire life.
Okay. Cool. Even greater than watching them land on the moon.
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Why don't you take them out of the boxes? I mean, they're not going to do any good in the boxes.
I
man.
never
they're caged. You've got them in jail for crying out loud. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Go Dodgers.